Hi, my name is Harriett Chapman, and I've got my exhibition here in Canfas. Really happy to be here for the second time, and yeah, this show is called Altered Interiors. Okay, so my work is about my inherited collection of antiques. So I grew up in a sort of with bohemian parents, where both parents were artists. And then my mother gave up painting to be a mother, and she started collecting antiques. So as a child I went to all different auctions and antique shops with her. And so I think this was ingrained into me. So what I like to do in my paintings is kind of mix the old places that we used to live with some new elements where I live now, and so the spaces where these objects and furniture, where they have been in the past and where they are now, and so I'm trying to find a sort of language with that really. So yeah, this one is taken from a photograph from about 25 years ago, where it's the front room in my mother and father's little cottage that they used to own in Cardigan. And so I've taken out parts and I've played around with it. The rocking horse was always there, and I did end up owning it, but had to let go. So it's lovely to be able to paint these things again, and sort of, it's like I'm bringing them back to life. But I do love the way that these objects or bits of furniture can their life carries on when we've sort of gone, and also we put so much meaning into these objects. They remind us, this reminds me of the time, and Napoleon was always on the fireplace, and this mantelpiece always kind of reoccurs in different paintings. That one over there has the mantelpiece as well, and the dogs, the Staffordshire dogs on top with Napoleon around, for years and years. I remember it as a child, and I still have it in my home now. So in a way this is my home now. It's not exactly how it is at all, but it's the cricket table that we would all sit around, very old cricket table. But I think what happened with my mother was that her collections became, she changed from being an antique dealer into a hoarder. So really there was collections of bits of everything everywhere, and in the end they were almost not looked at properly and not shown off properly. So I think what I'm trying to do is really take them into my own ownership, because they were her taste, and even though I'm very thankful and she had great taste, but I need to sort of have my own ownership on them. So here I'm putting my a camphor quilt that I bought, and it's kind of like a kitchen. So this was at the end of the kitchen in one of the homes that we lived. And then up here I've got a portrait of my father, and this was a self-portrait that he did, which has just come into my possession. It's been given to me by the person who bought it off him about 15 years ago, and it's so lovely to have it. So it had to sort of come into this painting because it was at that time that I was painting this. And so that's how I assemble the paintings. And then round here, like this one is more of my home at the moment. It's elements of the carpet that I have, there's a portrait up there of my brother, and the painting is one of a student of my father's, because they always used to have students staying in the summer. And then with this one, this is a little red upholstery chair that my mother ended up going to upholstery classes, and that's what she made there. But the corner cupboard was in our best room in the mill that we lived in Aberystwyth. Okay, so the textiles and colour are a theme definitely with me. I've always loved colour, and I really feel like colour makes your mood, changes your mood. So in a way, when I was talking about my mother's antiques being forgotten about in her later years, I feel like colour is bringing them to life, So yeah, we've got the cricket table again. So I do like to reuse elements in a different way. So this window was at the cottage that we lived in Canargaon, and the cricket table has been in all the houses. So yeah, lots of reoccurring themes. But this blanket was always on the couch, and the tiger blanket, that's what we all called it. And it's just that sort of comfort blanket that we all wrapped ourselves in. And and then in this composition, these cushions I acquired from a charity shop. So I love charity shopping, and obviously the whole antique collection has rubbed off a little bit on me. And then this is a diorama, so it's a box with this model of a ship in it, and this has a lot of meaning for me. There's a tiny little house in it, and as a small child I used to think that was our house because we lived by the sea and the boats coming in the harbour in Aberystwyth. So, and then things that I like to bring paintings in, because my mother, did some really beautiful paintings, and this is one of hers of a cabbage, and sometimes the painting can, the colours will be determined by the painting, or something, an element will determine the colours. And then this was, the pattern, I like to add pattern that, wasn't there. So, the pattern will always, be with me, I think. So pattern is a big part of my work, and I did my degree in surface pattern decoration. So in this one, it's called 70s Carpet Envy. This was the carpet that was in this bedroom, which was the cottage again. And I love the way you can just leave bits out and add bits. I think you can just do so much with pattern. And with the plates, I've just, these were plates that were on my mother's dresser, so these are more about the dresser really. So come along and have a look, and